Hey everybody, Vinny SOB. I'm gonna do something a little different here. I watched a video today, Tiger 1996, and some others playing the new Conquest mode for Wikinger, and you can tell Tiger hasn't really 1996 hasn't really played a whole bunch of Wikinger. He's obviously played some, and I just thought, there's probably people out there that are used to Blitzkrieg or Spearhead, or maybe play this, but just don't really know what some of the little intricacies are. I thought, why not just do a quick video, hopefully quick, well, that just kind of shows some of the things here that really it can help. So first thing for starters, up here you can change your from a 16:9 to 16:10 to 4:3. You could change the for the screen. You can shrink that up. I notice a lot of people don't shrink it up. Maybe they don't give a shit. It bothers me when I see it, so thank God they have the shrink it up thing. That's, to me, very cool. You're normally not going to have this give me a shit ton of money and resources thing here. But at any rate, Tiger was playing with the Fallschirmjäger today, and so I thought, why not bring up the Fallschirmjäger? I haven't unlocked anything. I've just beaten the computer into submission. So I have all my points here, but I thought I could look at some of these things. So first, when you start off with your first building, and this is something unique to, at least at this point, this is how it works with Wikinger. It's unique when you use the Oberkommando West, insofar as you start off with a unit, and it's like a Freiwilliger or something. Here, this guy. You start off with these Freiwilligen infiltrary guys, or whatever. That's it. That's all you start with. You don't get an engineer. You can't go build anything. These guys, I mean, they're well-rounded enough. Once you can put some upgrades on them, they can tear some people up with these PSHs. They do have rifle grenade, but they start off pretty weak. But that's it. So what you have to do immediately with Oberkommando West is you have to pick a doctrine, and it's the only faction that is set up that way in Wikinger. You cannot wait around, because there are no base troops to build until you pick a doctrine. So that's something unique. So it's something you have to do. So right off the bat, when you come on the screen, you need to click this and then go through whatever one of the 4 doctrines that are available. Well, 3 at this point for everyone except for, in the beta. And you pick them. And as soon as you do, all of a sudden this will pop up, and you'll be able to get the Luftwaffe Pioneer, and this is what you'll see, but you'll only be able to afford either a medic or a Luftwaffe Pioneer. Luftwaffe Pioneer, not a whole bunch to say about it. It's a Pioneer, right? 6-man squad. This guy's hurt. They can build your caches. You don't have to build buildings, obviously, with Oberkommando West. And they could put up a bunch of stuff. Flak emplacement, which is important. They're one of the few doctrines that get a flak emplacement. They could do the basic standard fare. Alright, so I'm not going to go over all of these units, and again, this will only pertain to this particular doctrine. But with Luftwaffe, or with any of these, you're going to see that you have these little symbols on some of the units, and I don't know if people realize what they really do. So, this scout car, I'll build one, it has that little eyeball symbol. The reason there's an eyeball symbol there is because this is a piece that can spot cloaked units. And it's something that isn't really utilized in other mods I've used. It's pretty important in Blitzkrieg mod. Wait, let me see what the hell they're tagging me with here.
We lost a gun crew.
Oh shit, I lost something. Anyway, it wasn't something that's overly important in other Company Heroes 2 mods that I've seen so far. Is cloaking. I mean, you could do it, but I haven't seen like a huge prevalence of it. I've watched a lot of PvP matches. But at any rate, I know units have this in other mods because I've seen the binocular symbol before. But what this basically does, true sight, of course, you can't see past or around things. The only reason I can see here is because I have units that have vision. So these pieces will not only be able to see very far into the darkness, and I'll just kind of bring one over here just to kind of give you a quick idea. They can see into the darkness, but also they can spot cloaked pieces, which is something that's important because you can fly recon planes, you can do a bunch of stuff, but they're not going to see all of the crap. Like you might have cloaked, and they might see it, but even if they do, it's very briefly. And I'm not even sure how if a recon plane can even see like a sniper or something that's cloaked. But so here you can see, you could click the binoculars, although there I think there's smoke there, and look how far you can see. Alright, now they're timed of course, and it's 25 munitions, but it can come in very handy. It's not real smart necessarily to move this thing up until you can see something in its vision because it's very weakly armored, and say it's an anti-tank gun, if it, you know, it's going to have better range than you. So that's why this vision gives you that extra range to pinpoint these things. And you notice once I looked, look what my mortar team started doing. They started attacking. So yeah, vision is extremely important in Wikinger mod, and you know, it's, and especially the true sight. And if you remember BK mod, everyone ran around, or at least most people that were smart, ran around with those little you know, pieces that could see, you know, that could see in the dark. Or I'm sorry, could see the big, you know, circle area. They didn't shoot, but they could give you vision. And it's the same kind of thing. You're going to want to utilize these. And there are a lot of pieces in Wikinger that do that. Every doctrine's a little different. But at any rate, so that's that piece. That's what the eyeball means. You're also going to see things like here's a munition, this Opel Blitz supply truck. Something else I noticed is I don't know if people realize this when they first start playing it. You cannot put upgrades on your troops unless you are at the headquarters or at, you know, this is kind of unique with Oberkommando West because they have forward buildings actually, like these trucks. But if you're not there, you cannot put your upgrades on them. You can't be out here like in Spearhead or even Blitzkrieg and put upgrades on them. You have to do it at the thing. So that's something else people, I think, it's pretty important to know. I've seen people looking and they're clicking on stuff like, why can't I upgrade these things? And I guess they don't realize you have to be at your base or at a truck, you know. So that's something else. But this truck itself with this little munition symbol, what that can do, it says here it locks down territories. I don't know that it does that. I've never seen it do that. Maybe it's something that's coming in the future. But what that thing actually does is if you have troops out in the front lines that you built, and you like have like a point where, okay, I'm building everybody and having them show up right, you know, right here, then you can have one of these trucks out there or up near a forward base or something to help put weapons on your troops the same way it would work as if they were in the see, there's no lockdown anything here. Maybe it's just a mess up in the description, or it's something that's going to happen. But at any rate, yeah, so you bring this thing over, and then people can get their weapons and that they're not normally able to get if they're not inside the headquarters area. I think that's all the symbols for that. The second building here, these are just a bunch of different symbols. I haven't unlocked anything. Here's a League 18, some other stuff. I did build the officer, and the officer's pretty cool. And every faction has them except for U.S. Airborne. That doctrine does not have an officer. It has Old Croc, which somebody pointed out to me the other day. It's not Old Crook, it's Old Croc. So yeah, they have Old Croc, but he can't do what these officers can do. And the reason these guys can upgrade here is because they're at this building. Like I said, it's unique to this, you know, faction. But you could withdraw units. So if you got crap just lingering around, you can withdraw it. Not tanks, but, you know, troops. He can do the officer charge, and basically it's just a buff. And I think it might even, I don't know if this one breaks suppression or not. I rarely ever use this guy away from the base. But the biggest thing he does is the supervise, which if you remember from old Blitzkrieg, you could do that with one of their units. But I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to build this sniper. Now you can look at how slow it's building. When you make this guy supervise, watch what happens. Look at that. So supervising is, you gotta get an officer out. Now you see here that I can put, and this is another thing, man, their snipers are so badass. But at any rate, snipers will be invisible. So you need a spotter piece to see them. unless they're out moving around and they're out in the, you know, like now he's visible, but he's not gonna be. Now you see you have upgrades here, right? Let me just sprint away. Also, another thing, pretty unique that people should probably know about Wikinger. You sprint, there's a punishment for sprinting. It's not this arcadey, lets everybody run and sprint, oorah, and all this other stuff. You have a punishment. Your guy will get exhausted. Now he moves like slow as shit, just like in Blitzkrieg, but they also fight crappy. So, yeah, you really want to conserve the sprint to when you actually need it. So, plus the exhaustion's pretty shitty. Now you see here I cannot upgrade this stuff on this guy. I'm away from the base. So you can bring these trucks up, which is just like the old Europe at War mod, if you remember that. Company Heroes 1. And he'll be able to get his shit instead of retreating him all the way back to the base. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Hurry up, truck. Get there. What else did I want to show? Oh, Mortar Teams. If you look here, you can take a normal barrage and drop it into the darkness. But a precision strike, you cannot drop in darkness. In fact, there are no off-map artilleries actually in Wikinger that are just like click them and drop them. Planes are the only thing that kind of functions like that. Otherwise, you have to have it from a unit or from something else, from like a vehicle or a unit or a bunker or something like that, which is actually really unique and cool. But also, you can't fire the shit into darkness. Very few things can fire into darkness. Now, if you have like a, like this League 18, I'll build one of those real quick. Where is it at? Wrong one. Like the League 18, which I'll build in a second because I have supervise on it. Look at that. Kick out that mother. So let's see. You know, it's got a very good range. See, I cannot fire it into the dark. I can only fire it where I can see. So that's pretty unique too. But at any rate, Mortar Teams, as you can see, can fit into... Now this is something that was in vanilla too, but I don't know, some people might not have played vanilla. They might have gone straight to one of the mods. But yeah, this isn't any mod, but you can fit them in these things here. But yeah, that not firing into the dark is unique. Another thing I see, and I don't know if... That, okay, I just want to see what's going on there. Another thing that I see people not doing is, with their tanks and with their anti-tank guns, is granted, you have the cloak mechanic, right, which is outstanding, because when you're cloaked, I believe you get a damage bonus, and it's just, why would you want to be seen? You get a hit off, and you can decimate a lot of stuff, especially with the Germans Pack 40. But you have this button here, which is prioritize vehicles or free fire. When it's on free fire, like this, it will fire at troops, buildings, giving itself away. And it might actually fire at a troop instead of a tank. But let's just put them on this. So I usually put these, unless I'm using one of the real little guns, you know, which isn't going to really hurt a tank much, which can really screw up, you know, groups of troops, or like this rocket one. I'll let it hit whatever the hell it wants. I don't care. But like these big ones, it's made for tanks. That's why it's there. So I prioritize vehicles. Same thing with, like this Stug is cloaked. And look at his awesome skins, man. Damn, that's badass. Anyway, yeah, Wikinger skins are badass. But another reason you use Wikinger skins in Wikinger is because because these doctrines, just like in Spearhead, you'll notice there's vehicles that wouldn't normally belong to the doctrine, but they skinned it so everything in there comes up with a skin. That's why I use Wikinger skins. So if you don't, you're going to have like those just tan, or just like those regular, just like plain tan or gray vehicles that you'll see like in Spearhead when you get a vehicle that doesn't have skins. It's because it's not meant, there's no skin designed for that in that doctrine. Or in that, or even in that faction potentially. So that's why you have these Wikinger skins. But at any rate, like this thing here, right? Same thing. You can cloak it, not cloak it, but you can free fire or prioritize vehicles. This, you know, if you get these long-barreled ones, they're not really made for troops. I heard this dude bitching at, and I know he's like a really good player, whatever. Like today to, you know, use the big gun. I don't play PvP really. I mean, very rarely. And but yeah, man, this is really a vehicle killing tank. You know what I mean? Or, you know, assault gun. All right, back to this guy. See, now that truck's here, the sniper can get his upgrades. I can put a med kit on him, and there's only one upgrade here, and I can get a 4x scope on a K98. So it increases his vision. Now, something else with these, which is extremely important. With snipers, which you may not know, because I didn't know at first, and I was like, why in the hell is this sniper not shooting? And maybe this is how it is in vanilla, I really don't know. And he will not be able to shoot. I can't shoot while he's in the walk mechanic. Let's see if this will even work. So there he goes, he's invisible, no one knows he's there. You have to click on the scope. Have him look down the scope and now he'll start firing, and then you can direct him. Now look at that, that's the sniper seeing that. So vision is super important, and I gotta stop this mortar team before it's too late. In fact, I'm gonna have this officer, I'm gonna see if I can send him away. See you later, bitches. Because they're gonna blow shit up. So now so snipers are extremely important. Vision is extremely important. I don't know what the hell they have in here, and that's something unique. Like if it was Blitzkrieg mod, I could just like kind of creep up here and I get this big circle of vision. I can't see shit over there, and that's you know, that's a unique thing. Now I know like Spearhead, I mean, it's just something unique to Company Heroes 2. It's good shit. So anyway, we've kind of looked at some of these things that maybe people just don't know. Second building, what else? I haven't unlocked all our shit. Let's see, we'll go to the third building. Alright, here you go. You have two symbols here. This symbol is on the ambulance. It shows a red cross. Pretty cut and dry, right? Maybe even the medic piece. No, medic doesn't have it. It just says medic. But, maybe they'll put one on there. I don't think they really need it. It's a medic. But at any rate, so that way this is an ambulance, and it tells you that it's an ambulance because they look similar. If you look, these don't look all that different without the symbols. Something else pretty cool about this, and like Spearhead does it with, like, you can retreat to the actual medics. You can do that with this too, but you can actually set these ambulances as a retreat point. So when you click on retreat point, you'll see, look, a little stretcher pops up there. You can reinforce from here. Look, just some shit popping up. That's another just a really cool thing with Wikinger. These little details and shit. But anyway, so there you go. You can retreat to that if you wanted to, which is very cool. Or you can just drive it around and heal people from there, or whatever. But that's what the little thing does there. The other thing you have here is this, and this is an anti-air half-track, and you can see the little symbol. It's like a little flight wings. So you can quickly look and see, oh, there's my anti-air, bang, and click it. Or, oh, there's my vision troop, click it. And it, you know, and so all the factions have these, you know, and all the doctrines. So looking at the last building, see, look at, there's the Ostwind, has the little wings for anti-air. Tells you that that's what it is. So very cool. You know, those are just some little things that to help people out that maybe didn't know. Go ahead, this place. And that's it. So I don't think there's really anything else that I can tell you about regular troops. Oh, upgrading. We discussed it. You have to be near a building ever, but yeah, it's extremely important. Most of these guys have bolt action rifles and very little when they start. You know, upgrading really with different weapons as you go really makes a big difference. So everyone should pretty much know that, though. I think everything else is pretty cut and dry. What I'll do next is I'm going to do a part 2 video to this, and I'm going to actually go over each and every one of these, which will not take that long actually. But I'm going to go over these the different abilities here within the Luftwaffe doctrine. And I know I've done something kind of like this before, just picked stuff. But we'll go over it. So, alright, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or anything, you know, please let me know. I hope I didn't miss anything. I think I tried to cover the, you know, different things that can really kind of help, or you know, maybe people didn't realize. I think that's it. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll put up a part 2 here, and it's going to start off right where this one leaves off. Alright, thanks. Have a good one. See you in the next one.